So, an interview question I got was, what do I find the hardest part about living in South Korea? And it's definitely the standard of beauty, because they want a very certain look with their foreigners. Like, they want you to basically have blonde hair, blue eyes, and white skin, which is like a very Nazi idea. I thought the Holocaust was over, but that's pretty much what they're looking for, image-wise, with their their foreign teachers. And then South Korea is the plastic surgery capital of the world, so like it's very common to get plastic surgery, to get double eyelid surgery, like when kids are 16 and 18. So like so out here, like the artificial beauty market is booming. And like, to be honest, like, South Korean girls are not really more attractive than Thai girls or Filipino girls or Chinese girls who don't do all the makeup and all the cosmetic stuff. Like, they try really, really hard, even like physically alter their appearance with knives. And like, at the end of the day, I think it creates a lot of nasty attitudes, because all that money, all that effort, all that energy, it doesn't get them like further in life. It doesn't get them further in career. Like, you basically find like girls who look like supermodels working at convenience stores and olive young, and making minimum wage like most people. And I'm sure it creates like this extreme bitterness where it's like, well, I did everything right, I got this amazing education, I even went under the knife, why am I working at a convenience store? And it's because everybody does that in Korea. Like, an overwhelming amount of people do that in Korea. So like, definitely what I think is the hardest part about living in Korea is dealing with the impossible beauty standards. Like, we always hear it's hard to be a girl. Like, you got to wear your hair this way, you got to push up your boobs, you got to like, wear your makeup. We always hear how hard it is to be a girl, but that's like extremely true in South Korea. There's just no bumming around. Like, America is like a very eclectic country in comparison to South Korea. Obviously, South Korea is a very homogenous country, so like, most people look the same. They have long black hair. They're fairly thin. They dress very similar. So like, when you're looking around, like, honestly, the boys and girls do not look too different from each other. Like, occasionally you'll see someone dye their hair, but like, mostly it's a very homogenous look. It's a very look of conformity in South Korea. And like, I hear people talk about South Korean fashion. I'm not really sure why. Like, I actually think South Korea is kind of void of fashion. Like, because they don't embrace uniqueness and variety. So like, how could you be like the fashion capital of the world when you don't embrace uniqueness and variety? You couldn't be. No, I don't think South Korea is like this fashion haven or anything like that. So right now I'm just sitting outside of a coffee shop. Sorry if this angle is not the best. But yeah, absolutely, I find the standard of beauty to be difficult in Korea. Like, I try to change my look all the time. Actually, I had a hair disaster at the barber. This color is not the color I wanted. This cut is not the cut I wanted. I wanted them to straighten it. The stylist or whatever did a complete awful job, and I still had to pay for it. That's probably the worst part about going into a hair salon, is they like literally might butcher your hair and you still have to pay for it. Anyway, so like, to be honest, like, this hairstyle is not appropriate in most hagwons. So I'm a teacher out here, so I've been wearing wigs, and sometimes I feel like it's quite obvious that I'm wearing a wig, which is also like a con. But most girls actually do something fake with their appearance, whether they go literally get plastic surgery and go under the knife, whether they're wearing makeup, or whether they have hair extensions in or wigs. Most girls are faking something about their appearance. And personally, I don't think there's anything wrong with, I will use the word, enhancing your appearance. I don't think there's anything wrong with enhancing your appearance, but I do think there's something wrong when like almost all of the merit is based on looks instead of heart, soul, personality, qualifications. Like, I think that's creating like a very ugly and nasty environment. A lot of people say that Korea is cutthroat. Like, and a lot of people agree that the beauty standards out here are ridiculous. Like, it's kind of known for ridiculous beauty standards. So when asked what is the hardest part about living in South Korea, it's definitely dealing with the impossible beauty standards, because like honestly, they really want you to look like a supermodel for like any job, working at a convenience store, a gas station, as a teacher. And it's like, like at the end of the day, people are people, most people are normal. And then you might not want to go under the knife or always cake on the makeup just to work at a convenience store, so it can be a lot of pressure living in South Korea look wise. And people are your boss. Like, I've actually had bosses that would sit down and be like, do this with your makeup, do that with your hair. Like, so, like, if you're overly sensitive to criticism, I definitely don't think South Korea is for you, because they will nitpick you to death and they will complain a lot. I'm Lion Brave. Thank you for listening to me. Please subscribe to my channel.